He's a man with a worldwide following, and today we have him in this very special edition of the Bangalore Literature Festival. May we have a round of applause for a person who has put Bangalore on the world map by teaching someone, all of us in fact, something very basic and yet something so profound and needed, which is the art of living. I now request Vikram Sampath to felicitate H.H.Sri Sri Ravi Shankar and say it with flowers. A humanitarian and spiritual leader, an ambassador of peace and human values. Through his life and work, Sri Sri has inspired millions around the world with a vision of a stress-free, violence-free world. He has founded courses that we all know provide techniques and tools to live a deeper, more joyous life. And he has established non-profit organizations that recognize a common human identity above the boundaries of race, nationality, and religion. Over to the man himself now, that the world calls Sri Sri, for a celebration of love and life, an intimate note to the sincere seeker.
Nice to be with you here on this literary festival. You know, literature and spirituality have a long relationship. If spirituality is alive today on the planet, it's because of literature. And most of the literature that is so prevalent and read and practiced in this country have some spiritual connection throughout. So now, again, what is spirituality? Is it some sort of out there thing or something practical? I would say that anything that uplifts the spirit is spirituality in that sense. Every literature that uplifts you, brings a smile on your face, gives you much needed relaxation, a confidence when it is crumbling, a faith when it is shaken or is lacking, I would call as spiritual. So, I would like to read a small poem that I wrote when I was in 1972. After that, I didn't venture to write much. This is in Kannada. You know, spiritual experience or inner experience is so murky. And it's very difficult to put it in words. And then even more difficult to unite it with common sense. And make people understand something which is so intangible. But here I have made an effort in Kannada. Kanchana Gangayo Kemmannu Gundiyo Shiragra Shailavo Igarthavagadettara Digantanalli Diganta Divyavalli Naninna Bachi Ni Enna Tekkyolavuchi Nege Kivuchu Tiralu Bhava Bhavya Vittu Daduti Dindina Didir Dhuli Dhuma Minchu Gudugu Sidilu Higgu Taggalluruli Sagara Dalakke Nanu Alle Mele Neenu ಎನ್ನರ್ಥನಾದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿನ್ನ ತಿಳಿ ಹಾಸ್ಯ ಸಾಮರಸ್ಯ ಸ್ವಾರಸ್ಯ ದಿಕ್ಪಾಲು ದಿವ್ಯ ಭೂಗತ ಭವ್ಯ ಪಾತಾಳ ದಾಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊರಳಿ ಬೀಳುತ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ಬಂಡೆ ಹೀರದೆಂದು ಕೊರಗಿ ಸಾಯುತ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ನರಳಿ ಏಳುತ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ಕಲ್ಲಾಗು ಕಲ್ಲಾಗು ಎಂದರಾರೋ ಆ ಶೈತ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಕಲ್ಲಾಗಿ ಮೇಲೆದ್ದೆ ಬಾನ ಭಾರವ ಹೊತ್ತಿ ತೇಲಿದೆ ಅದೃಶ್ಯ ಕೈ ಹಿಡಿದೊಯ್ದ ಗಿರಿಧಾಮ ಕಾಮತಾರೆಗಳಿನ್ನೂ ಇದ್ದಲ್ಲೇ ಇತ್ತು ಕೋಡುಗಲ್ಲ ಬಿಸಿತಾಕಿ ಬಿರಿದನೆಲ ನೆನಪಾಗಿ ಕೆಳಕ್ಕಿಳಿದು ಹರಿದೆ ಒಡ್ಡು ಕಟ್ಟುವರಿಲ್ಲ ವ್ಯರ್ಥ ಸೇರುವೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಡಲ. Words feel very inadequate to express a deep sense of vastness and authenticity one feels in deep meditation. Then it's such a, is it an effort then to write them? I would say no. In fact, all poems come from that space which I would call as spiritual, that spiritual inner plane, or the intuitive awareness from where we try to make sense of something that is acquired from beyond the senses. Love cannot be defined, nor can it be explained, nor you can hide it. Truth you cannot avoid. At the same time, love cannot be expressed fully, nor can it be hidden from its expression. So these books, that sincere note to an intimate note to the sincere seeker, which we have, which I used to sit on every Wednesday with a group of youths, and I would ask them some questions, and sometimes they ask me questions, and we would just churn an intellectual debate, a churning, and whatever comes up, we would make it as a knowledge sheet. I did this for 7 years, and every week, Wednesday, we'd pick up some topic. You know, in Sanskrit there is a saying that says, Vade Vade Jayate Tattva Bodha. When we debate on our experiences, and something very beautiful comes out of it. So debate is definitely part of literature, and is also part of spirituality. As I said, a deep sense of fulfillment, satisfaction, is a sign of a spiritual experience. In Art of Living, we take the help of breath, and with the help of breath, because breath and mind are very closely linked, bringing that much needed relaxation both to body and to mind through the help of breath. You know, offer this writer's block. People who face the writer's block, when they sit and do some breathing and do that relaxation, suddenly that particular nadi, we call nadi in India, according to Ayurveda, a particular nadi opens up. In the yogic science, we say jnana nadi, a particular channel of energy gets opened in you. Then you are able to write. That writer's block just vanishes from you. So spirituality in that sense is very useful for writers to be innovative, to be intuitive, and to be creative. Few minutes of deep silence can enhance our ability to express ourselves much better. Can you observe what is happening to you right now? Can you read in between the words at something settling down in the mind? The rat race that is happening with our thoughts, when they slow down, something wonderful starts happening within ourselves. Writers usually prefer to go to nature and be with the nature. And you know what really happens when you are with the nature, or in the ocean, or in the mountains, or watching the flowers, or in the garden? something slows down within us. When something slows down, the entropy goes down, the creativity comes up. And this is how exactly the writer's block gets opened up for many people when they go on retreats or go to some place where there is some quietness and start writing, or early morning you sit and write something. You feel much better because there is an atmosphere that we create. And I tell you, we can create this atmosphere wherever we are at our own will. We don't have to go somewhere. Right here in Bangalore, we can calm our mind down just by attending to our own breath. So when I started writing, that was when I was 16-year-old and 72. My very close friend's father was a very famous writer. He's called Gopal Krishna Adiga. And, used to sit with him and chit-chat. And so we're surrounded by people of eminence who inspire us to do something. But then I used to say, once I read your books or your poems, I don't feel I can't write anything, because whatever I feel you have already written. So for young budding writers, I would suggest you don't read any big books. You better go and watch the painting. Or painters should not watch others painting. I would prefer them to read the books so that they can write, they can do painting well. So sometimes this sort of thing happens, that you feel someone has written so well and you can't write any better than them. That's already said and done, whatever you wanted to do. This is exactly the feeling I got also when I used to read some of Karan's and Adiga's and DVG, Dr. D.V. Gundappa's Mankuti Manakagga. Now literature plays such an important role in instilling common sense in people. And it can also create prejudice and wrong notions. It can also make someone's mind very narrow. And, what we have seen, what happened in China, what happened in many other parts of the world. It's all through literatures that a set of ideology was imposed and huge population has suffered. And we have millions of people have died by adhering to those paths. Actually, today I am going to Chhattisgarh, which is also an Naxal-affected area. And these people in the Naxal-affected area, they also have their literatures. And they believe in those literatures so strongly. And they say, violence is the way. And they quote Napoleon. I say Napoleon didn't ask anyone to vote for them. He went and he acquired the kingdom by his own strength. So we have to work with our own strength. This sort of what you call brainwashing or infusing an ideology towards violence has happened on the planet. On the contrary, the same has happened with peace also. The writings of Mahatma Gandhi, writing of Martin Luther King, and many other people have written on peace and on perseverance and patience and spreading love. So this is also essential. And this is even more essential today. So literature can lead people astray from peace and can bring them peace. In the same way, it can create that sense of anger and frustration, or create sense of belongingness and love. This we all know. I am not saying it should be one or other. Life is very complex and it can be complete only when it is all aspects. Any literature should have a little bit of sarcasm, skepticism, and should have some thrill, something for people to ponder on rather than giving them on the platter or a concept. People should come up with their own ideas. And individuality should grow up with the literature. This is my strong opinion, that it's my opinion, that literature should lead people to an individual rather than a mass sort of hysteria or an idea. It should allow everyone to think for themselves, come up with creativity and come up with their own idea, at the same time honor the universal values, universal human values. So for sincere seekers, I would say, give them a note: seek the highest. See the life beyond what it appears to be, beyond what just our five senses perceive. Look into that mystical aspect of life, which is prevalent in every one of us. We don't have to go somewhere. You can simply see life with a bigger context. A bigger context to life. So who am I? What am I doing? What do I want? What is this universe about? What's this all about? This inquiry within us makes us a seeker, and every literate person, I feel, should be a seeker. Seeking should not end. Seeking begins in life at the very early age. At 3-year-old, a child starts questioning, asking questions. And this should continue the whole life, that we would want to acquire knowledge. We want to know. We want to see the truth. We want to see what the life is. Understanding this so complex idea called human life. Understand others' mind and understand one's own mind. This faculty that we have been bestowed with: mind, intellect, memory, ego. And then something that is beyond, from where the thoughts come. An attention to that would make our life so much richer. So, prejudice should be done away with. An open-minded approach in any field, I feel, is the real common sense. You know. So if you have some questions, I can take them.
Namaskar.
Ha.
I am a professional writer, and I have this question: whether I should write for the commercial market, which is what is selling a lot, and these stories are meaningless, very shallow, or should I stay faithful to my own heart and write what I deeply feel, and that's possibly may not sell? Thank you, Guruji.
Why do you have to choose between these two? Why don't you do both? One for for your commercial purpose, and one you do for your own, to keep something very immortal, to go for times to come.
Guruji, I have an identity, so either I hold on to my identity or I have two identities.
You can have more than one identity. Why do we have to be stuck with one identity? You can do this and you can do that. I feel there is no conflict.
So I will change my name and I'll take your suggestion. Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you. Yeah?
ಭಾಳ ಸ್ವಾರಸ್ಯವಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಕನ್ನಡದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಾವು ಪೋಯಮ್ ಬರೆದದ್ದು ಸಂತೋಷ. ತಮಗೆ ಒಟ್ಟು ಎಷ್ಟು ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಬರ್ತವೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಕಲಿಯೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯ ತಿಳಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ.
ನನಗೆ ಬರೋದು ಒಂದೇ ಭಾಷೆ, ಅದು ಹೃದಯದ ಭಾಷೆ, ಪ್ರೇಮದ ಭಾಷೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಬೇರೆ ದಕ್ಷಿಣ ಭಾರತದೆಲ್ಲ ಭಾಷೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಹಿಂದಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜರ್ಮನು ಬರ್ತದೆ.
ಹೌದು, ಸಂತೋಷ ಸಂತೋಷ.
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನಿಷು, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜರ್ಮನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
Sir, I don't agree with you that you can do this and that also, because whatever we write, it affects us, affects the writer. So the way we are going to write is going to shape our creative personality. So you can't be everything here. You have to be yourself. Either you choose to write commercial things, sellable things, or you write deeper things.
Yeah, I honor your opinion. That's your opinion. Yeah, the world can have many opinions, and this is one of that. That's how many people choose to write one thing and excel in it. I honor that. But I personally, my opinion is that you have so much potential, you can do many things in life. Yeah, you can be a musician. Usually, there are people who play only one music. They play only sitar or only sitar. And I have come across a person who plays 32 instruments. He plays all those 32 instruments so well. And it's a rare case. I'm sure it's not possible for everybody, every place. But such examples are also there. But I honor your opinion, sir.
Sir,
Yes?
spirituality is the need of our country, but the reality is it is limited only for the rich and the ones who afford. What should be done so that every common person who may not financially afford to know spirituality gets to know it?
I would like to tell you, spirituality is nothing to do with money. Absolutely not. Poor people can benefit with spirituality as much as they do, as much as the rich people do. In fact, we are doing programs in so many villages, nearly 40,000 villages around the country, and in the slum areas. When poor people take to spirituality, they really take it sincerely, and they get out of this habit of drinking alcohol and drug abuse. And in jails, we have conducted program. So I do not agree that spirituality is only for elite or rich people. It is for everybody. But if something is free, rich people don't go to it. If we have to pay something, then rich people go and think there is something you get out of it. This is the psychology of the rich people. It's not the spirituality per se. Yeah.
Well, may I ask, do you like reading yourself? And if so, who are your favorite authors to read?
Pardon? Can you repeat the question?
Who are your favorite authors to read? I mean, which authors do you like reading?
I've had to confess to you, I read very little. And I read people and I read myself. But I know there are so many brilliant authors and I like them all. Whatever little bit I have read here and there, I like them all. I think I have the capacity to appreciate everybody.
Hello, Guruji.
Yes?
Over the period of time, there has been various emotions that has brought forth great literature. But those has been on the, those used to stray into the side of negative emotions like pain and longing that brings up great literature, but somehow there is a feeling of, that's not proper. You can go into greater levels of the positive sides as well. But how can I use both? Because those feelings tend to have a greater strength to which I can express in my writing career.
You must remember that people are very different. We are not in a homogeneous society. We are in a very heterogeneous society. And even within an individual, he is not the same throughout. His moods change. His feelings change. Just for example, someone wants to listen to a music. Sometimes they listen to a music which is very jazz and very jarring. Sometimes they listen to a sort of longing or melancholy music. People are, their moods change. So when the moods change, the type of literature they pick up at that time also change. Personalities are different. Different personalities enjoy different things. So you must know, that's why we, in India in the ancient days, they called Navaras. A literature is called to be complete when it has all the 9 moods. A dance is considered to be so full when it has all the 9 different modes. That's anger, there is virya, there is a valor, and there is a sort of desperateness, there is sadness. So all these different moods attract people at different times. Some people like humor a lot, and some others don't like to read the humor all the time, but they would like to read, as you said, a literature which touches your heart and makes you cry, or makes you a little more emotional. So you need to cater to all sections of society, and genuinely what you feel at that time, you must express it. You can't force yourself to be humorous, and you can't force yourself to be melancholious, or, I'm going to write a very love story or a love song. If it is not coming from within, your efforts, I think, may not give that as fruitful as it should be. Does that answer your question?
Almost, yes. I can use all those emotions and yet not be anti-spiritual, right?
Correct.
And can move on.
Correct.
Jai Gurudev Guruji.
Yes?
Is there something like perfect when you come to write about something as abstract as meditation? Or different articles, different
this
things?
is the most difficult thing to write, to convey. See, writing is something, but whether what you have written, what you have capsuled in words, whether it is conveying to the person who is listening to that the same thing, what you have had the feeling. It's a really, really tough task. But I think it's not impossible. You can. Yeah? And the best example you can see is in DVG's Mankutimana Kagga. In that he has so beautifully he has expressed that which is really inexpressible.
Namaste, Guruji.
Huh?
Yes.
Yes?
Namaste, Guruji.
Yeah.
What is the difference between knowledge and wisdom?
Knowledge is what, it's up here in the head. Wisdom is what is right in your life. That which has come as your experience is wisdom. Knowledge is what you have heard and what you have acquired by reading, listening. It's just up here. Yeah. Knowledge is like reading a menu, and wisdom is like having eaten that.
Sir.
Tasted it, yeah?
Sir, excuse me.
Yeah.
What is the difference between worry and tension? Please tell me.
You should ask this question to someone else who have plenty of them. I have none of this. I have neither of this.
No, sir.
Worry, see, we give meaning to the words. If you tell me what you call as worry, and if you tell me what you call as tension, I can give you the difference.
Yes, sir, yes.
You got it? Gotaitalla?
Yes, sir. सर हम हादसों में बोलते रहते हैं, अगर एक एग्जाम्पल देने के रहे तो बीबी प्रेग्नेंट हुआ तो वरी शुरू होता, वरी हो, अब लवर प्रेग्नेंट हुआ तो टेंशन शुरू होता.
अच्छा, तो देखिए आप जानते हैं ना हमारे बीबी है ना हमको कोई टेंशन है.
Guruji, I had a question.
Yeah.
If appreciating a work of art or literature is, I think it is emotional, it moves a person. So isn't it more emotional than cerebral?
As I said, literature cannot be only emotional. It will be mushy, then it is not so. People will not like to read it. Reading is an intellectual job. And it cannot be so dry, it cannot be so technical. A literature cannot be like reading a technical book. That could be so boring. So, literature needs to be a combination of a little bit of emotions, a little bit of intellectual sharpness in it. Like the modern poetry. It has that intellectual angle to it. It stimulates your intellect. And also, it somewhere kindles, brings that in spark of emotion that you needed much. I think all the most successful literature has both these aspects.
Hello, sir.
Yeah?
My question is, I've read many times that desire is the root cause of evil. So I tried to conquer my desires, but I don't know what to do the next.
This is another desire, no? To desire, conquer the desire is another desire. So what next is a question?
Yes, sir.
What next? After you conquer the desires, what next?
Yes, sir. In the path of spirituality.
In this path of, in the path of spirituality, what it brings is a contentment. When you have contentment, you are not burning with some desire or a small desire. Or if at all you have a desire, you have a very big desire. Like, I want everyone to be happy, the whole world to be peaceful. These are the desires you should have. Small desires should become bigger desires. And bigger desires don't bring you tension. Only small things bring you tension.
Yes, sir. But I'm too young to start for the bigger desires. But no, my basic question was, once I stop having smaller desires, my life becomes very boring. And it's like my life has become standstill. So what next is what my problem.
No, why do you want to stop having small desires?
I just didn't find it interesting.
So, when you don't find interesting, you don't need to stop it. It's gone already.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's gone. So, there is a saying in Sanskrit, it says, Nalpe sukhamasti yovai bhuma tat sukham. The mind always goes for something bigger, some bigger joy, bigger bliss, right? So, it's its nature. You can't avoid it. Mind wants to have something bigger. And spirituality is that which gives you that bigger joy, bigger happiness. You know, there is one happiness that you get by taking. As a child, we all have this. But when a grown-up person has a happiness in giving, like mother at home, she enjoys cooking for everybody. But when she is all by herself, she doesn't make 5 or 10 different varieties and cook and eat. She never does it. She will just have a cup of coffee, a tea, and munch something, and she'll keep quiet. That's why there is a joy in giving. And authors and literary giants have this joy that I gave up something, I gave something to society, I wrote something. There is a joy in it, right? And go for that.
Thank you.
Guruji, good afternoon.
Yeah.
I have 2 questions for you.
Okay.
One is, spirituality has become a buzzword amongst many people. Everybody wants to say, I meditate, I'm spiritual. So, there are a lot of people who pray, who are extremely religious, who do pujas, who also claim to be religious. So, what is spirituality? And the second question for you is, how does one qualify to become a spiritual leader?
Okay. What is spiritual? See, we are all made up of both matter and spirit, right? A body is made up of carbohydrate, protein, minerals, and all this. Our spirit is made up of creativity, peace, love, joy, anger, and all these emotions. Now, spirituality is attending to the spirit. Who am I? Am I this body? What are the thoughts? What is the source of thought? What are these emotions? What is the source of emotion? Going to the source of thought and emotion, or finding that still space within you is spirituality. Then you find that is what everything is made up of. You know, if you are a quantum physicist, I tell you, you are a spiritualist also. You can't separate these two things. Because a quantum physicist also says this whole universe is made up of just one thing. This he understands, but a spiritual says that in the experience, yeah, whatever I am, that's what everybody is made up of. We are all one. The whole world is one organism. This understanding gives enormous confidence, enormous peace, and unconditional love. And everybody, I tell you, has a bit of spirituality in them. There is no one on this planet Earth who is devoid of spirituality. Now, Is there any way to become a spiritual guide? I don't think so. I don't know even if there is a way at all. You may ask me, how did I become? I just learned whatever I experienced, I kept sharing with people. And that's all. Whatever I experience, one thing I said, I'm not going to speak of anything that has not come in the purview of my experience. So whatever experience was there has been kept sharing with people. And in the same way, each and every one of you, everyone is a spiritual teacher. You can teach someone consciously, unconsciously, or anyway you are teaching everybody. You are teaching by your good deeds, and you are also teaching others by your mistakes also. When you do a mistake, not only you learn from your mistake, but the whole lot of people who are around you are learning from your mistake. So, being a spiritual teacher is unavoidable for you on this planet. You are all anyway. You don't have to change the dress or put only dhoti and kurta or have a longer hair. I tell you, this is not necessary. Yeah? If you are able to smile genuinely, if you are able to feel love for everyone, not only you, but others will also feel that thing for you. It just makes your life very rich. And it opens up a door to another dimension, which if you are a meditator, you would agree with me and you would know it also.
Good afternoon, Guruji.
Yeah?
Here, sir. Sir, I've always read, you are what your deep driving desire is. As your desire is, so is your will. And as your will is, so is your destiny. I have sort of grown up following this quote in my cupboard. And I can say I'm a writer since a very young age. I've compiled poems. And I came out with my first book 3 years ago. But then, with all the negativity around me and all the rejections, I've yet failed to bring my book across to the people I want them to read. How do you expect me to keep myself motivated with all these negative forces pushing me down?
You should write something about that also.
Perhaps, yes.
It's a very good opportunity for you when you feel so much negativity all around you. That puts you back onto yourself and can bring up such a deep sense of care and concern, and can bring up the words which you would really want everyone else to hear.
But even then, to make the people want to read those words, how do I go with that? I don't know anybody in the publishing world who I can
there are many amateur poets associations and clubs. There are number of magazines, number of things. Don't lose your heart, just keep doing it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
In life we need both passion and dispassion. If it's only passion, we'll be finished. And if it's only dispassion, we'll be finished. If you have only passion, then you get frustration and you have despondency and you feel so upset. Nervous breakdown can happen. So you need to have passion. If without passion, you will be in depression. So it's like breathing in is passion, breathing out is dispassion, and in between it is compassion. We need all three. Passion, and to keep our passion and our mind sane, dispassion. Okay, if nobody reads my poem, okay, did you hear the poem I wrote in the last? I also thought, all this wealth, all this knowledge, will it all go waste? This was my concern when I was 16-year-old. Because nobody would understand what I was feeling. My friends were so busy with football, cricket and everything, and I would not feel it. I felt it is absolutely nonsense. Kicking the ball from here to there when you had to ponder about how the stars have come. I was so deeply interested in cosmology, about the planets, about the stars. So these sort of things you write and then leave it for the time to take over. Yeah. So passion, dispassion, and compassion. Okay. I think
Hello, Guru.
I'm done. Only one last question.
Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, Guruji.
Yeah.
My question is the destiny bigger than determination? So, meaning somebody wants to become an actor, but he is a manager. So, can you think, if he's someone destined to become a manager, can he still go ahead and become an actor, for example? What's your opinion?
I tell you, you hold on to your dreams. One day it will come true. Yeah? I was also a student in the same city. Once I thought, no, I should go around the world and unite people of all the countries as a one family. People thought I am crazy. When you have some great ambition like that, people definitely think you have gone off, something wrong here. But if you hold on to your dream, one day it will come true. Yeah? Okay. I'm done. Did I take more time than I allotted?
No. I think the time was well spent, so no complaints from any side. It must be a sign of the times that we live in, that each one of us is full of questions. And at the Bangalore Literature Festival, aren't we glad that we have the man with all the answers? It's been a wonderful session, I know. One could see that. And thank you, Sri Sri, for the candid conversation and for really answering some of the deepest, innermost core questions that troubles many of us. You've given a very profound message. Compassion is everything. The joy of giving, as you said, I guess somewhere there lies the true art of living. On that note, I would request H.H.Sri Sri Ravi Shankar to sign and leave his imprint on the BLF wall, something that all our guests have done since morning. I request the BLF volunteers to assist H.H.Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. It's what many people would like to have. ಅದನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಬಹಳ ಜನ, ಆದರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯ ಉತ್ಸವದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ನೆರವೇರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. You can just ask autograph, please, and there it is.